Speed. Road. Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
I'm Spartacus!
I'm Batman.
I am the Father.
Okay, welcome everyone to this deep dive.
Great to be here. We're tackling only the river flows today, aren't we?
Exactly, and specifically through the lens of this really insightful review you shared with us.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission, well, it's pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Let's unpack this source, pull out the key insights, maybe some surprising details.
Yeah, and the context the review provides, get a really good handle on how this particular source sees the film.
Right, so first off, the setting. The review places it very clearly, neo-noir cop thriller.
In a rural Chinese town, and crucially, in the 1990s.
And that 90s context, it's not just window dressing, is it? The review really hammers home that this was a period of extreme flux in China.
Absolutely. It talks about state structures kind of disintegrating, rising unemployment, corruption creeping in.
A real tension, it sounds like.
Yeah.
The review mentions this clash between embracing consumerism and these rural areas feeling, well, left behind.
Yeah, left behind is the phrase used. And the source says this whole socioeconomic situation it envelopes the film.
So it's baked into the story, not just a backdrop.
Exactly. It's the pressure cooker, the atmosphere everyone's operating in, according to this review.
Okay, so let's get into the plot as the review lays it out. It starts with a murder, right? An old woman, Granny 4.
Mm-hmm. And that immediately sparks fears of a serial killer being active in this small town.
And the focus quickly lands on one person.
Yeah, a local young man known as the Madman, who apparently Granny 4 had even taken in at some point, so suspicion falls on him pretty fast.
Got it. And into this situation steps our protagonist, Detective Ma Zi.
Right, and his journey is where the review suggests things get really compelling. He doesn't just investigate the crime, he becomes utterly consumed by it.
Consumed to the point of questioning himself.
Everything, apparently. His job, his ethics. The review even says his sanity.
Wow. And the source links this to his personal life struggles, too.
It does. It mentions difficulties with, the classic work-life balance, but also that his wife is pregnant and there's a serious concern the child might be born with a disability.
Oh, that's heavy. You can see how that would make him temperamental, push him closer to the edge.
Definitely adds layers to his state of mind.
Now, this detail about his investigation technique really jumped out from the review.
It gets different. Oh, yeah, the cinema thing. He moves his entire department into a disused local cinema.
A cinema? Like, they set up shop among the dusty seats and popcorn machines?
Seems like it. And he uses the projector, apparently. The review says he plays the case out using it, projecting crime scene photos.
Just staring at them.
Yeah, staring until he cannot separate photographs from reality. That's the quote.
Okay, that's intense. And that leads into another key point the review makes, doesn't it? The whole unreliable narrator idea.
Exactly. Because Ma Zi losing his grip, we, the audience, are kind of lost with him. We cannot trust what he is seeing, as the review puts it.
So you're experiencing his breakdown alongside him. That must create a lot of psychological tension.
For sure. And the review credits Zhu Yulong's performance here, calling him convincingly jaded. Sounds like that really anchors that feeling of uncertainty.
Let's talk about the antagonist. Or maybe antagonist isn't quite the right word, the madman.
Right, the review is careful there. He's not presented as your typical, physically threatening villain, more like a specter.
A specter. How so?
Well, he appears sort of ethereally in the background of photos Ma Zi is looking at, maybe in hallucinations or just in whispers. It's not about direct confrontation, necessarily.
And the review draws a connection between Ma Zi's personal anxieties.
Yeah, his panic about his unborn child. It suggests that's linked to how he feels haunted by this madman figure during the investigation.
Creating an unusual hunter-prey dynamic, the review calls it.
Mm-hmm. Less about a physical chase, more psychological. Like, this figure embodies or amplifies the detective's own fears.
And then there's another layer the review brings in. Politics.
Ah, yes. The police captain is apparently getting squeezed. Pressure from local politicians and those higher up the food chain.
And what do they want? Justice.
Not primarily, it seems. They want the case closed. Quickly. Quietly. Keep the crime stats looking good. Keep everyone happy.
And the easiest way to do that
is for everyone to just agree it was the madman. Pin it on him. Wrap it up. That's described as the most favorable outcome for the higher-ups.
So this political angle, this extra little layer of context and history, as the review terms it, it's pretty important.
Absolutely. The source argues it gives the film that very detailed sense of time and place, grounding it firmly in that specific 90s Chinese context.
And it stops it from just being a, quote, standard police drama.
Right. That external pressure for a convenient answer really shapes the whole investigation and what Ma Zi does.
Okay, let's shift to the look and feel, the visuals. The review mentions it was shot on 16mm film.
Yeah, by cinematographer Cheng Meziwan. And that choice apparently creates a very specific aesthetic.
Described how?
Lots of swampy shadows and a murky brown colors. Constant rain apparently lashing sideways, giving everything a damp, hunched feel.
Sounds pretty grim. The review even says the village becomes a mud bath.
Yeah, and everything feels grimy, like it's coated in something you can't quite name.
So the visuals really seem to be doing a lot of work, mirroring the sort of internal decay and the societal pressures.
Definitely sounds like it. Contributing to that feeling of being stuck, bogged down.
Okay, so we have this rich context, the psychological depth, the specific visual style. But the review does have a significant criticism, right?
It does. The main one is pacing.
Pacing issues, even though it's under 2 hours.
Apparently so. The review says it can, at times, feel like a bit of a slog.
That sounds surprising, given the material. Potential serial killer, detective losing his mind.
I know, right? The reviewer calls the pacing strange and disappointing for those very reasons.
Does the film try to compensate for that slowness at all?
It seems like it tries. The review mentions relying on little jolts, some dark comedy moments, and apparently one truly shocking, out-of-nowhere death.
But for this reviewer, those jolts weren't quite enough.
Didn't fully overcome the drag, it seems.
Did the reviewer speculate why the pacing might be like that?
Yeah, they floated the idea that maybe it's deliberate, trying to reflect the reality of small-town police work, the boredom, the waiting.
But the conclusion was
that it doesn't quite translate as well as it should on screen. The intention might be there, but the execution felt off to them.
Okay, so summing up the review's verdict on Only the River Flows, what's the bottom line?
Well, it's recommended, but specifically for fans of contemporary Asian neo-noir.
Because of the style and performance.
Exactly. The review says the grainy, shadowy visuals and the lead performance are certainly enough to make it worth the watch.
But with a big caveat about the pacing.
A significant one, yeah. The review states pretty clearly that the pacing issues overshadow what should be a great film.
Still, it considers it an interesting enough third outing from director Wei Shujin.
Mm-hmm. Not a total write-off, but perhaps a flawed execution of some really interesting ideas.
Right. So just to quickly recap the key things this review helped us understand. The deep roots in 1990s China, the psychological spiral of the detective.
The unusual, almost spectral nature of the villain, the political interference hanging over the case.
The very distinct, grimy visual style, and then, of course, the critique about the pacing.
Yeah, the review really paints a picture of a film trying to blend genre with specific history and social commentary. Quite ambitious.
Absolutely. And it really makes you think about that pressure element in the story. The push for a fast, convenient answer from the authorities.
How that pressure can maybe warp the search for truth.
Which brings us to a final thought, perhaps, sparked by this review for you listening. How often does the pressure for a quick, simple, maybe politically convenient answer risk obscuring a deeper, maybe more complicated, perhaps even more uncomfortable truth, whether it's in a movie like this or just out there in the world?